Hello. So, um, I had realized that my original, like all my original experience videos were on my old channel. So, I don't know, this light is blinding me, but I need it. It blinds me. Maybe man, maybe that'll work. Maybe. Anyways. Excuse me. Thought I got you one time, you little sucker. Sucker. Man, look him. Where'd he go? There you go. I got him. I got him. I got him. I've been chasing that little booger for about an hour. He disappeared. Came back. Guess what? He showed himself. He was like a turkey. Pop your head up. Guess what? Kablam! Elimination. Lack of education. Anyway. My story was on my old channel. So I'm going to get on here. And yeah, that right there is fixing staying alive. I'm fixing to upload it to YouTube when I upload this video. I don't do editing, nothing like that. Mine's the original. No matter if you're viewing it live or posted, you see everything. I don't edit anything. I give it to you just how I make them. That's just how I am and what I want to do. I don't want to edit anything, crop anything, paste anything, because to me that takes away from the value of it. You know, it's like old coins. When you find old coins in the ground, some of them could be worth a lot of money cleaning them, but some people say it degrades the value if you clean them, because you're taking away that patina, all that years of stuff that's on that coin. It's supposed to be there. It's supposed to be that way. My videos, I don't edit, crop, paste, nothing. I give them to you exactly how I record them, because to me that's somebody might have needed to see that. They might have had one on their wall and they don't know how to deal with it. That slide, you take that old slide off, it knows how to deal with them. But one of y'all might not know that. Now you do. Just saying. Just saying. Excuse me for a second. I got to make sure that everybody knows I'm live on YouTube. Snapchat right now. Oh, I got a headache, y'all. Oops. Live on YouTube, y'all. Go check it out. Talking about my experience. Uh, so yeah, there you go. If you can't catch it, the video will be posted. Just letting you know. Hold on a second, y'all. Man, this stuff is hard trying to keep up. Mm. Oh, by the way, y'all, I'm sober. Just so you know. So that was a big freaking step for me and difficult. My God. The process of getting sober, if you know, you know. You don't know, you don't know. The only thing I do now that is bad for you, I mean, besides my diet, is smoking cigarettes. But that, I'm not ready to quit that yet. It don't really hinder me in any kind of way. So, but yeah, I'm gonna get to my experience in a minute. Just chill out. Just chill out. I'll get to it. Give me a second. Okay, now let me see what I just sent to make sure I didn't send the wrong thing. Okay, I did. If you're one of the people in here that just got the link to YouTube, that's my YouTube channel, so you know. Give me 1 second. Oh, I got a headache, man. I had to put this sucker on too tight. Oh well. I don't like showing my hair a lot of the times. I show it in real life, but I don't show my hair a lot of times in videos besides the little scraggies you can see on the backside. Oh well, I will one day. But anywho. So yeah, this is just gonna be my experience video. And I'm just gonna go through it. And if you see me kind of like, this video might be a little bit different than the other ones. So, just letting you know. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go through my experience. I can't read anything right now. I'm trying to. I'm just gonna jump into my experience. Give me 1 second though. Let me get it. Okay. Little fuzzball. You don't think you go fuzz? Okay. So my experience. Close to around March 2021 is when I had my near-death experience that triggered an actual death experience. What do I mean by this? I'll explain. So, I had got sick with the flu, COVID, whatever it was. And I started to isolate in the spare bedroom in our house, quarantine pretty much away from everybody. Well, then after I got sick, just a few days after that, I quit my job because I had two words kept popping into my head, and I don't know where they was coming from. It's like they were coming from an outside source. It wasn't me. It wasn't my brain. It was something else. They just kept popping into my head, and they began to overpower everything. Like it doesn't matter what I was thinking about, what I wanted to do, what's next would overpower it, and I didn't know what it was, what it meant, anything, and it became too much for me. So I quit my job and I started staying in that bedroom that I was isolating in from when I was sick. And at this point, I'm already using drugs. I'm using ecstasy at that point too. Um, Not while I was sick, but after, before and after. And I found myself awake for roughly 5 to 6 days, and I wasn't eating anything or drinking anything. If I had something to drink, it might have been a little bit of Dr. Pepper, which sounds pretty good to me right about now. So I'm isolating in the spare bedroom. Been awake for 5 to 6 days. Hadn't had anything to eat or drink. So not eating, not drinking, and not sleeping is a trio of combination for what causes this. It's why it happened. How it was able to happen. My body was shutting down because I hadn't had anything to eat, anything to drink, and I was awake for 5 to 6 days abusing drugs, abusing my body, not hydrating, not giving it nutrients that it needed. My organs started to fail. My brain was dying. Well, this put this body in a weakened state. And in the weakened state of this body, from what you can call it spirit, you can call it soul. I call it soul, have from day one, because that's what I recognize. That's what I've always heard. I've always heard soul. I've heard spirit, but that's what I found comfort in was soul. You might find comfort in spirit. So when you meet your operator, you might know it as spirit. You might know it as entity. It's up to you. Each individual person has their own reaction to their reality. Each individual person has their own experience. We're all on earth right now, but me on this camera right now is my reality. You have a different reality than I do. You're watching that screen. I'm projecting on it. We're on earth at the same time, but everybody has their own reality. Just because we're on earth right now, in reality, doesn't mean it's all the same. Everybody has their own life to live. But so my body was weakened, and in the body's weakened state, my soul was able to expand my consciousness. And what happened then? Oh God. What happened then was me as my soul. Back it up real quick. I'm sitting in the floor in the spare bedroom. I wish I could just carry this and show you exactly where I was sitting, but I can't. I'm sitting in the floor against the wall in the spare bedroom, just staring at the other wall across. Because this what's next. I had so much in my mind, so much in my head, and I didn't know where it was coming from. I was searching for it inside, connected to it all, trying to find the connection, trying to figure it out. Well, my soul came outside of my body because my body was weakened, and I felt it. I could feel it come out of my body, and I looked at it. and my soul floated outside of my body and hovered in the air next to my body. And when it came out of my body went in sort of what I call autopilot mode. There was no more thinking. There was no more doing. I couldn't operate. The body was just alive. The pilot was no longer in the body. It was just a vessel at that point. But I was still alive. So my soul was communicating directly with my brain. And how that is like when you feel things or you get like psychics or mediums, they can channelers or whatever. The reason you can make that connection is because you're not just a vessel. Your spirit, soul, the connection is in you. And because it's in you, if you know how to connect to it and can channel it and listen, hear it, feel it, you can connect to it all around you. It's all around you at all times. But a lot of people don't know that, or they can't do it, or think they can't do it. Everyone can. And it's late, y'all. I'm telling you, since I've gotten sober, I've gotten back on my schedule and stuff. But anyways, so my soul come outside my body, and it was a lot for the brain of this body to take in, because I didn't believe in this. I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in anything happens to us after we die. You know, I've always felt like I have a soul, but what happens to it after I die, I don't know. I didn't know. So this was a lot to take in for the brain. And my soul was doing things to kind of help put my body and my mind at ease a little bit. So it would be able to help this transition that I was fixing to go through, because it was fixing to be a lot. It was fixing to be a lot of shock to this body, a lot of shock to this brain. A lot of things that if you're not mentally prepared to take on, you won't be able to take it on. That's the reason a lot of people, some can channel, some can are empaths, some people do these things because they're mentally fit to take on the challenge. Some are not. There's young souls, there's old souls. It's a growing process, right? So my soul did something to help put my body and my mind at ease. It formed my face on it. It never spoke a word. The mouth never moved. It smiled. My face on my soul, that I was reflecting, smiled. But the lips never moved. They just smiled. But my soul was communicating with my body and my brain. So what happened then was, well, it was weird. It's weird how time operates outside of this form, and I'm going to try to. Sometimes I might not get things exactly right. Sometimes, but I'm trying here. I wasn't going to have just a near-death experience. This body dying and shutting down here was a near-death experience in this form. But what my soul did then, because it was communicating with me and said it needs to get help. I wanted to get help because I'm lost and I'm tired of coming here. That's literally what my soul was telling my brain, that me is my soul, but it's weird how it works, because I am one with them. I know that. But in that form, it was like there was two. My soul was tired of coming here, tired of doing this over and over and over again, and it wanted to get help. So it was going to have to go somewhere further than what this experience was going to allow. So what I did then was, I know how crazy this sounds. If you don't believe it, you don't believe it. You don't have to watch this. Click off of it. It doesn't matter to me. I know how crazy this sounds. I know how hard this is to believe. Trust me. I didn't believe any of this. I didn't believe it until it happened to me. Once it happened to me, would I do not believe what I just experienced? There's no way I'm not fixing to believe this. No way. Not even possible. I believe every single thing that happened to me. Because I've never heard of none of this. Out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences, I've never heard of none of it until my experience. And I started to research what happened to me. Then I've learned all this. I've learned there was more people that's had experiences like this. I had no idea. I didn't believe it. I didn't know. But I wasn't the only one. I thought I was. But I'm not. Thousands, if not millions of people. But my soul went into it's part of the, you can call it multiverse. I know it as the reincarnation cycle, but it is the multiverse, kind of. But my soul went into a body that was me on a different earth, a different reality, a different. Everything was the same as here. This was a mirrored reality. Everything was exactly the same. There was no difference whatsoever. Everything was down. Everything was the same. The same thing there that's going on here was going on there on that earth. My soul went into that body. That body, until my soul went into it, was on autopilot mode. Just like this body here. When my soul came out of it, it's alive, but it's following a program. And when I say program, I know a lot of people are going to say the Matrix. Nah, it's not like that. It's not computer programming. It's not programming like that. It's alive. It's alive, but it's not experiencing itself yet until it becomes conscious. It's not experiencing, it's just living. But it doesn't know it's alive, it doesn't know it's dead, it's just alive. Until it is conscious and being operated, it's experiencing it. Then it's aware. Once it becomes aware, unconscious, conscious. So I went in, when my soul went into that body, I was told that there was an aneurysm in the right side of my brain that was going to burst. And my biggest hindering was I was terrified to die. I was scared to death to die because I didn't believe in this. I didn't believe in anything happens to us after we die. I was terrified and dying because I didn't believe in it. And I'm just going to go ahead and take these off and shut this off. I'm going to keep this going, but that's it. I was scared. Eventually, the fear went away. I was no longer scared to die. I was grateful. I loved it. I loved that I was going to get to experience death. I had no fear. I had only thanks. I can only say thank you. Thank you that I get to experience this aneurysm bursting in my brain and dying. Thank you. And I even cried, was crying. And it was such an honor. It was such an honor that I was being given the gift of death. To me, it was an honor. I was grateful. I was beyond just happy for the honor of it. Because to me, that's where it eventually brought me to. I didn't need to fear it. I'm alive. You're alive. It's an honor. It's a blessing, right? So is death. Even painful as that it may be, it is a blessing. Why? It's a blessing, an honor that we get to have the experience because of the experience. You're alive right now. You're conscious in this moment. You're experiencing this moment. It's a blessing and honor to you for you to have this experience. When your death comes, when the time comes, it too should be an honor, will be an honor, and you will be grateful for it. I know as weird as that sounds, as hard as that sounds, I was grateful for this aneurysm that was going to burst in my brain. And when the time came, I knew that it was going to happen. I had to make sure that I let the higher power know that I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to experience it. And as soon as I said I'm ready, boom, it burst. I could feel it spread in the brain. And I immediately came out of that body. And then I got to watch it. I got to see it happen. Before the aneurysm, I know I put time frames on these of 15 minutes and, 15 minutes before, when it happened, all the way until the body was buried. I put time frames on things because sometimes it helps. Because I went back 15 minutes. I went back 15 minutes and seen if I wanted to go back further, I could have went back further. But I already know because it's a mirrored earth. I know everything that has happened from the time that I've been conscious. I've done it. I'm living it right now in this life. Well, but that life has ended. That body by now is probably decayed all the way to bones. I don't know. It was buried in a coffin. But when it burst, aneurysm burst, I came outside of that body and I watched the entire process before the aneurysm burst. When the aneurysm burst in the body, I watched the body. My body did what's called a death stretch, I guess, and the body stretched out. Everything stretched out, the body went limp. I don't remember who found me. I don't want to think about it right now. I probably could if I wanted to, but I'm not willing to put. I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want to put that on here. Um, I don't. I just don't want to. But I got to see when it happened, and I got to watch all the way until that body was buried, put in a coffin and buried in the dirt in the graveyard. Not only that did I get to watch the body because it was the body's experience. It was the ritual of the body. I lived and I died, and until the body was buried and no longer touched, that's the body's ritual. So I had to watch it. I wanted to watch it because that was the experience. I was grateful. I was grateful for the entire thing. And so not only did I get to feel how I felt when this happened, I got to go into each individual person that I've ever had contact with that was affected by this. And I got to feel them. I got to be them, actually. Not have any control of them or anything, but I got to feel their emotions before they found out, when they found out, and all the way, if it affected them, all the way until the body was buried. I got to feel everything they felt up until that body was buried and unseen. I got to feel their every emotion. And when I got into my son, he was 3 years old at the time, his emotion of sadness was so pure because he's 3 years old. It's his emotion of sadness is not the same as yours. It's not the same as mine. His sad is a completely different sad, just like my sadness is a completely different sadness from yours. They're defined the same way. Sadness as a definition of emotion is defined the exact same way in every book. But how you feel sadness might be different than how I feel it, and vice versa. I mean, say I'm bullshitting, say I'm wrong. You can't, because how you feel sad and how I feel sad could be completely different. It's true. Uh, that's been proven. So, I mean, but anyways, I'm getting too far off topic here. um, so when that happened, so understanding me this, my soul is in that body, and watching this, not only is my soul experiencing all this, my body that's sitting in this floor, I'm getting to see this happen. My soul is letting me feel this and see it. While my soul is doing all this, it's also floating in the air next to me, looking at me, smiling. And the craziest thing was to me was me looking into the eyes that my soul, the face on my soul, and then being my soul looking back into the eyes of my body at the exact same time. Like me sitting here looking into the eyes of my soul, and me as my soul looking into the eyes of my body at the same moment. That was kind of mind blowing for me to be here in this body in this form and be able to have that experience, being in two different places at the same time. Not only that was I in two different places at the same time, but I was also on another earth in another reality, experiencing fucking death. Pardon my French. Experiencing death. I was dying. I had an aneurysm burst in my brain on a completely different reality. But it was so simple for me to understand because I was feeling it. I got to feel it. It's different hearing something and seeing something. Even feeling something, it's different. But here in this form, everything about it, the seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, feeling, everything about it, it's kind of hard not to believe it. That's exactly what I was doing. When my soul left this body and came outside of it, just like right now, I'm feeling everything, smelling everything. That's what happened when my soul went into that body. I was no longer here in this body. This body was put on autopilot mode. That autopilot body was then taken off autopilot mode and started to get piloted by my soul. Then, after I died in that body, now back in this room, my soul smiling at me said, "I'll be right back." Remember, the mouth never moved, it's just smiling. But I communicated directly with my brain. Said, "I'll be right back." Looked up at the ceiling and went straight through it, straight up into space. And I didn't really see stars, a few of them, but I didn't really see too much like that because that wasn't my purpose. You know what I mean? That wasn't my purpose at that moment in time. My purpose at that moment in time, I seen and did exactly what I needed to see. So I seen let me take you back. My soul, the color of it, the shape of it was an elongated egg shaped, almost like a pine cone shape. Right. And do you hear that? Excuse me for a minute. Just gonna say it. I don't care what it is that's trying to get me not to say this. Anyways, so that was my soul is a warm white light with a thin, warm golden light surrounding it. I called the thin golden light my halo. When I went into space, I seen a round light that was the exact same color as my soul. So I merged with it. When I merged with it, everything went white. And it was the strongest emotion of love that I've ever felt, ever had. I can't even, there's not even a definition for how pure or how good it felt. There's no way to describe it. That's how good it felt, how pure it was, how strong, how everywhere it was. And while I'm in this light, these two words, what's next, came in to this light and hit me. And my soul was no longer this elongated egg-shaped pine cone shape. I formed my physical body from this life here on earth because it was going to be it was going to make the transition for me to understand what was coming next easier than questioning what am I, what is my form, where am I, stuff like this. So I took my form here so my body back here wouldn't question these things because I could still see through my eyes sitting in that floor. I could still see. I was still alive. And I could still see. It's weird how that works. But because my soul went into that body and died, the tether that was on earth was cut. I'm still here in this body, but I did go into a different body and cut a tether. So I was able to go further and get more information than normal. So while in this light, and let me explain this because I've had a lot of people say that they quit watching my video after this. When I say that while in this light, I took my form and somebody came over from the right side of me in this light. And when I describe, I call him he because that's what I recognize. I describe him as looking a specific type of way. Why? Because that's who I would recognize. Him as being. You will see whoever you see. Not everyone sees who I see. We don't all see the same thing. We don't all experience the same thing. Eventually, that's a different video. We don't all have the same experience. We don't. I can't say that, but give it time. Give it time. I can say that. Give it time. Anyways. This is freaking hard. There is something that is telling me to shut up. Something that is telling me to stop talking. Something does not want me to make this video. And I do not know why. I don't know why. But it's not good. It's not whatever this feeling is, it's not good. If it was good, I would listen. I would shut this video down and you wouldn't get anything else. I wouldn't make another live. But whatever this is not good. I can feel it. I can feel it in my gut. It is not good. And I'm not listening to it. But it is distracting the hell out of me right now. Anyways, hold on. I gotta put on music because maybe something told me to do that from the get-go. I was gonna listen to my videos, actually. Listen to all my videos, look at my writings and stuff. And that's how I was going to make this video. But back of my head is telling me I already know exactly what to say. Just let me put something on real quick. Boy, I got a headache. I have to keep at least one off. Maybe I just turn it down or something. I don't know. Wonder if I can. Yeah, I can still hear myself if I turn it down. Okay. So where was I? Can't do that. So where was I? So yeah, while in this light, I formed my body. Someone walked from the right side of me. And I described what he looks like. Had on sandals. Old sandals. A cream-colored robe tied with rope. Long white beard, long white hair. He introduced himself to me. And I say he because that's who I seen. He looked like this because that's who I envision. You believe in Buddha or you believe you worship Jesus or whoever you worship, that's who you will see. That's who you will experience. Not everyone will see who I see. You see who is familiar to you, who would make you, especially me who wasn't a believer, that made me believe. You see who you see. Ooh, talk to me. Did you see it? I love this song. Anyways, he introduced himself as God the Creator. His mouth never moved either, but he communicated directly with me. He was a part of me. I didn't understand that at the time, but he was a part of me. And he showed me that me as my soul has been here on earth, on different earths and different realities for a long, long time. That me as my soul has hundreds of millions of years old. I've been here for a very, very long time. Uh, one of my earliest past lives that I was shown was a dinosaur. Now I know that was a past life of mine. That was the end of that life that I was shown. I only seen 3 past lives. That was one of them that I can remember, that I was able to take back. But I didn't see the entire life. Uh, Not all I was allowed to see was the death of life. That's it. And the earliest one was the dinosaur. It was a long necked dinosaur, and there was no other ones. They all became conscious. Whether they didn't become conscious and they died off, or they became conscious and was saved. It's weird how that works. That's a whole nother video. But I was the last one to experience the end of it, the end of them, end of their creation on this earth. The one of them, I was a little girl in a future type city, and I was raped by 2 older men, and one of them choked me and choked me to death, killed me. The other one, I was a younger male, probably 18 to 20. I was I'm expecting it was around the time of Jesus. I'm not sure because I remember Roman red. I remember there being Romans, but I also remember there being I remember there being Egyptian or similar to Egyptian. And I'd done something wrong. And I was put in an iron bull and burned alive. So that was the 3 past lives that I was shown, that I got to experience. So while in this light, I was reintroduced to God the Creator. He was the creator of all creation. You will see a different creator of all creation. There is a complete hierarchy of all kinds of. There's guardians. There's. Do I believe in different gods? Yes, but ranking wise, say military, they're gods, but they have different rank, right? So you have God, the creator of all creation, and then you might have God of the sun, God of the moon, God of the water, God of the fire, God of the earth. There's different gods, different titles. I mean, you can believe it or not believe it. I mean, but above all is one God. But there are lots of different gods. And there's so much to go into. But anyways, let me get on with my experience so I can get off here and go to bed. I have to say a prayer to get whatever this feeling is out of this house. Whoa. Anyways, and that clicking noise you hear up there is foil. I wrapped all if you from the South, man, you already know how hot it gets, and you know we live in an old trailer, and we have window units, and it gets very very hot here. So I wrapped all the windows. Besides some windows, I wrapped a lot of the windows with foil because it helps. I'm ghetto, and I don't have a lot of money to have new windows put in. It's what it is. We got to do what we got to do in this life, right? And I'm trying. I'm trying to make these videos and make my other things. I'm trying to make my other platforms grow so I can make money off of doing this. And I want to help people, and I can help people. I can channel. I am a channel. That's one of the things that I know that I am because I was told that I am. I am a channel. It's not. It don't. I'm not allowed to operate it. It's up to you. It's up to other souls. Because I don't have questions anymore. I have only answers. But I was only allowed to bring back what was for me. Now, the channel, what it does is when there's another soul that asks the right question, it is channeled. So I'm allowed to let the higher power know that, and not only if the right question has to be asked, the right soul has to ask the right question. Because there's some people that I talk to that I'm not allowed to tell them anything. I'm not allowed to share anything with them because they don't. It's not for them. It's not ready. They're not. They're not. They're not the person that needs to hear it. It's not for them. But some are. Like I say, they're young souls and old souls. But when the right soul asks the right question, it's then channeled, and I have the answer, but I only know it when you ask it. When you ask it, then it's opened. The channel gets opened, and I'm allowed to answer it. That's how my channel works. Some are different, but that's how mine works. That's how I was told that it works. Is I already have all the answers, but I don't remember them. I'm not allowed to remember them actually until you ask. When you ask, then the channel's open, and it's almost like when the channel's opened, your question gets raised up. It lets the hierarchy know that okay, it's time for the answer to be released. Then when that's done and they say it's okay, then it's channeled through me. So I already have the answer. It's already there. It's just you unlock it, right? It's weird how that works. That's a whole nother video. Several videos. But yeah. So when me and God the Creator came outside of my higher soul, that's what that light was actually, my higher soul. That was my whole connection. This soul here is just a piece of that. But I know that I'm no longer separate. I can say that. That everything I was separate from, I'm no longer separate. I'm connected to everything now. I now know that. I can feel it. And I found out, if you see me on Jeff Mars' podcast, and I said that connection, I wish I knew how to get there besides dying. Well, I found a way. I know that the connection was there. It had been there, but I didn't necessarily believe it because I didn't. It was hard to believe it. But I now know that the reason that I was saying that the connection wasn't there and that I didn't believe it is because I still thought that I had questions because I didn't know certain things. But it's because they wasn't for me. I was only allowed to bring back what was for me. Now I already have the answers, but they're not for me yet. It has to be the right time in this reality because I'm not allowed to alter reality. Free will. We have free will. So it's up to you to use your free will, ask the question, and when the question is asked, if the time is right and you are the right soul, the channel can be open and the answer can be released upon to the world, onto you, so it would no longer be altering reality. It would be reality. It would no longer be impossible. It would be possible because it is. You see what I'm saying? Uh, Dang, my leg's white compared to my shoot. Anyways, where was I? Me, when I came outside of the light, me and God the Creator walked side by side the whole time. And as we're walking side by side, I was able to see past, present, and future. But I was only able to bring back what was for me, yet again. So after all that, I'm just going to jump into it when I actually came back here. And I came back to this body. Because my body was still in a weakened state, when I came back here, I was able to see why I was doing so bad and why I kept doing this over and over. It was because I seen an entity. I seen an entity standing in the doorway of that room. It wasn't here in physical form. It was projecting consciousness. That's it. It wasn't physically here. It was spiritually here. But when you picture a reptilian, that's what it was. It looked like a humanoid type lizard with its arms pointed out straight at me. And what they do is they influence you. They can't alter your reality because you have free will, but they can influence you. They give you a choice. It's like a thought, pretty much. When you are thinking about doing something, you might even hear your voice. You might hear a different voice. I don't know. But that's pretty much how they work. It might seem like a thought to you, but it's a projected seed. It's a seed. If you're thinking, I'm thinking, but out loud, what if I go out there and drain the gas out of my car? Just something, anything. Go out there and drain the gas out of my car. Well, then, I won't do it, right? Well, nothing gets done about it then. But if that seed is something that they're planning, why don't I go out there and drain the gas out of my car? So, okay. So I get up and go out there and drain the gas out of my car. It's no longer an altered reality. It is reality. Or it's no longer a how did I explain it? Influence. It's no longer an influenced reality. It's now changed. It's now because of your free will. But it's because of free will that there can't be anything done about it. Because you had the choice. You had a choice to not drain the gas out of that car or to drain the gas out of that car. Even though he projected it, he fed me the seed, I still used free will to make a choice whether to do it or not. You see what I'm saying? That's how they operate. Those entities, that's how they operate. They don't give you a choice because you don't know. You can't see them. You can't feel them. Some can. Some are here in physical form. Some are in high positions of power on this planet and are influencing high positions of power on this planet. And there are other species that have tried to come here in physical form too. But this species has been here for a long, long time because of the evolution of life on this planet. We've gotten smart. Everything on this planet has evolved to get smarter. Look at this. I'm making a video on a camera. I can go in there and pick up a gun right now that has a little bitty old bullet like that. But that little bitty bullet can pass through somebody's brain that is alive and cause that life to die. That's the whole reason that they're doing what they're doing. And these other entities, other ETs that are good, that have tried to come here in physical form, have been met with hostility because these other entities have been influencing and corrupting people with big, big guns. Ever since the first person, the first humanoid evolution picked up a spear or a rock to use it as a weapon, they have been influencing them and corrupting them. That's what they do because they're in sort of a battle of power. And they do not give a dang about your free will. They do not care. All they care about is winning from you. What are they winning? Your soul, your energy source, your power, your soul. They keep you coming back here. They feed off of you. They win. They win every time you reincarnate, every time you come back to Earth. They win. They keep you in this cycle because they operate here. They keep you coming back here until you evolve to a different level of consciousness. Then they cannot mess with you anymore. They can't alter anything about you. They cannot influence you in any kind of way because you're evolved past that stage. That they're really. Did you see what was on my arm? No. Something was on my arm. Something tells me it might have been a spider, but I don't know. I don't see it though nowhere. Anyways, yeah, I seen him, and he followed me around my house after my experience for a few days, trying to influence me, trying to corrupt me. But I told him that it wouldn't work anymore. I don't know what it is I'm hearing. I don't know. But, the foil keeps rattling, but there's no wind. But that's not. I'm hearing several things. The most disturbing is the woman that I keep hearing crying. That is the most disturbing damn sound because it is very, very frightening. But I'm only physically afraid. Spiritually, I don't fall for parlor tricks. I don't fall for those type of games. You can cry all you want to. You can actually show yourself to me. And physically, yeah, I might get terrified. But spiritually, I'm not afraid. The worst thing that you can think you can do to me, just kill me, go ahead. If that's what you want to do, take me prisoner or hostage, go ahead. I'll go with you. I might just change your mind while I'm there. I'm not afraid. Not afraid of anything. Physically, maybe a little bit. Spiritually, nothing that scares me anymore. Nothing. Nothing scares me. I've learned to love everything, whether it be good or bad. A good spirit or evil spirit. I'm not afraid of them. I want to know them. I know if it's a creation, that if it's alive, I'm supposed to love all of creation. So I will. But anyways, can you hear that? Now it stopped. Anyways, it's just crazy because there's no wind. Like there's nothing on in here, not a fan, not an air conditioner, nothing in here. But there's all kinds of stuff in here blowing. No windows open, nothing. But yet, go figure. And that one over there, whatever the... Almost sounds like dog claws, walking on tile or something. But there's... whatever. Anyways. Where was I? Oh, so I seen him. He followed me around, found out that his influence wasn't going to work, so he left. But before that same night, before I realized that he was following me, I came outside on my porch to smoke a cigarette, and that's where I seen it looked like shards of glass in the air. They were around probably 6 inches to maybe a foot off the ground. They were as thin as a needle, but they were slightly angled, not straight up and down, but they were slightly, just slightly angled in the air. And it looked like shards of glass, but it was rainbow colored. They were ever so slowly rotating back and forth or something. But it looked like, when you see light pass through a glass and it turns that rainbow color, that's what these look like. Look like rainbow colors inside the glass. But they were needle thin, and they were around 6 to 12 inches off the ground, but they were tall. They were, 15 to 30 feet, or 15 to 20 feet tall. Like I say, 6 to 12 inches off the ground, approximately. I'm just guessing because I can't really go back and accurately measure it until I can go back. Does that make sense? So And there were, when people talk about little gray aliens, there were little gray aliens that would come in and out of these shards. They wouldn't get very far from the shard. They were staying close to it because the first two that I seen, there were two of them that came out of this shard. They had on uh, some kind of suit, no helmet or nothing, just some kind of suit like a Star Trek or Star Wars suit. Almost. That's how I look at it. Like when you think of Star Wars or Star Trek, and they have on those all the same kind of uniform. That's what they had on, similar to it, some kind of uniform. But they came out of them shards glass, two of them, and they looked at me, and the first one was like, "Oh, he can see us," and apparently they're all around all the time, possibly, but we are not allowed to see them, or not allowed, but. Where we are in evolution, we can't really see it yet all the time. Uh, and I could see him because this body was shutting down. It was weakened, and I just had this amazing experience. So I was allowed to understand how some of this worked a little bit, and see things that normally we can't see or hear or feel. I was allowed to feel it and see it and hear it. And anyways, he said, "Oh, he can see us." And the other one looked at me too, and they went back into that shard. But that wasn't the only shard. There were a lot of them. They were as close to me as my front yard. All the way to the street corner is where I seen the furthest one. And there would be anywhere from 2 to 3 of them at a time come out of these shards. And the first two, they went back into the shard, and it was like, "Oh, he can see us." Their mouths never moved, but they were speaking to each other telepathically. But because I could see them, and they were speaking to each other telepathically, and because I was all in an altered state as well, I could also hear them. So the first one said, and I'm hearing them in English. "Oh, he can see us." They went back into that shard, but I don't know where they was going. If it all went back to the same place, it had to have been. But it's almost like they were telling other ones that I could see them, because as they would go into the shard, one or two or three other ones would come out of the shard again and look directly at me and be like, "Where is he?" Look at me and be like, "Oh, he can see us." And they would go back into that shard. So yeah, that's my experience. I hope it helped you in some kind of way. I'm sorry that everything is the way it is in this video. I'm sorry. I'll try to make more videos, but I have to be. Something happened. Something happened tonight, and I'm sorry. But I love you, and hopefully I'll be able to get a better camera, better lighting, a better situation, a computer desk, a chair. I'll be able to have a good setup and be able to make better content for you. I love you. God bless you. Please share the video, like the video, comment on the video, and I'll respond to you as much as I can. Subscribe to the channel, please, and tell everyone that you know to subscribe to the channel. Thank you. I love you, and God bless you.